beginning with resolution, or item number 3, resolution approving alcohol license for Appleton Hospitality. Ms. Dickerson.
There are no issues with this request from the Chief of Police or from the Zoning Director.
Any questions for that item? Very good. Item 4 and 5, Mr. Reeves is here. First being item 4, resolution amending resolution 8357-24 that I believe we passed at our last meeting, right, Mr. Reeves?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And I believe this resolution is just correcting a typo that was included in that application.
All right. I think the members have the new resolution in front of them. Any questions for Mr. Reeves on that item? Very good. Item number 5 is a resolution for donation of right-of-way to the state of Alabama.
Yes, sir. This resolution is to donate city property located along Edna Road and South Shades Crest Road to the Alabama Department of Transportation for the use of right-of-way in the construction of the Exit 9 interchange.
Very good. That's an important step forward, I guess.
Yes, sir, it is. Very important.
Very important. Any questions for Mr. Reeves on that item? Very good.
Thank you.
Chief Bentley is on his way to talk to us about item 6, which is resolution declaring certain personal property is not needed. Have some vehicles that are at the end of their life, Chief?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, Council. There's 7 fire department vehicles. All of them are Tahoes or pickups that are well beyond their life, and we want to surplus those and either donate, sell, or dispose of those vehicles. Dustin typically handles this, but he's off with surgery, and so we want to go ahead and get this on this agenda if we could.
Very good. The items that Chief is referring to are listed in your packet on page 27.
There are, if I'm not mistaken, there are 5 Tahoes.
That's correct.
1 Dodge pickup truck and 1 Chevrolet pickup truck.
You got it. Yes, sir. Any questions on that item?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Cornett is here for a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Fifth Asset.
Yes, this is a request for us to agree to sign an agreement to use DebtBook, which is a type of software used to manage leases. Last year, the city adopted a new accounting standard, GASB 96, that was very difficult to implement, and we leaned very heavily on BMSS to help us gather and record and account for those leases. We had in excess of 120 of them. This software is going to allow us to own that information and to maintain those records on our own. So our first year implementation and cost to use the software is $12,250. The second year is $10,500, and the third year is $11,250. These amounts have already been budgeted for this year because we were anticipating doing this. So it's just a request to sign the agreement.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Cornett? Thank you, ma'am. Moving to the regular agenda, item 8 is a resolution appointing 2 members to the Stadium Trace Village Improvement District. That's an item that was continued from our last meeting. Item 9 is a first reading for resolution granting conditional use approval to change the current classification of daycare home to a group care home for 3559 Deerfield Drive.
Yes, Mr. President, the Planning Commission heard this case at their December 9th meeting and made a positive recommendation to the council contingent on the following. That 1, the subject property is entitled to only one, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. They recommended approval, the Planning Commission did, contingent on the following. All of the upgrades that are outlined within the application be successfully completed and inspected prior to the increase in number of students being allowed to occupy the building. And number 2, no pickup or drop-off service is allowed on Atkins Trim Boulevard. The upgrades that have been listed within the application would bring the property into compliance with building and fire codes. Those, of course, would need to be inspected and approved by both the fire marshal as well as the building department prior to the additional children occupying that site.
Mr. Martin, define for us the definition differences between daycare home and group care.
Okay, a daycare home has a maximum of 6 children. The group care home has a maximum of 12 children. And it does also require an additional staff member on site during the hours where the children are present.
I remember when this item came before the council, when we approved it as a daycare home, and some neighbors did express concern over the number of children, and one of the things that relieved them was the fact that it was 6 or under. Was there anyone present at the Planning Commission meeting?
There was no one present for the public hearing. We had one neighbor that called expressing some concern to the zoning clerk. But other than that, nobody at the meeting and no official correspondence was sent to share with the Planning Commission.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Very good.
I do have a question, please, if I can, back on number 8.
Yes.
Mr. City Attorney, with my understanding that Councilman Murphy asked to continue this, to have a resolution to where we add a total of 5 and reappoint the current 2. Is that included in this resolution?
No, not to my knowledge. That would be a separate resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Have the bylaws been updated and drafted?
No, they were drafted by the developer, and so we've communicated with the developer's attorney about that, but we have not undertaken redrafting those bylaws yet until we get some direction from them. But from my perspective, it would be a Robert's Rules issue where you could vote one resolution and then bring another resolution to amend and add in the future.
So you're saying we could vote to add 2 new members without the bylaws being updated? I thought.
No.
you had said the
I'm saying
opposite of
you could vote on resolution 8359-25 to appoint 2 members, and then at a later date, and you can vote that up or down, and then at a later date, you can vote to amend the bylaws and add 2 more.
2 separate issues in essence.
Correct.
My guess is my understanding, that's why Councilman Murphy asked to do this continuance in the first place. I thought y'all were doing that already to help kind of make that happen.
He did ask to continue it, but I don't know that we have a consensus on what the council and the developer want the revised improvement district documents to look like.
Thank you.
I know Mr. Sager and Mr. Zaveri do wish to serve. Mr. Sager was here with us on the last Monday night, and hopefully he'll be back Monday. I would like to see us vote. If a member decides these 2 gentlemen are fit to serve, it's an aye vote. If they think they're not fit to serve, it's a nay. So let's vote it Monday night. You okay with that?
I would like to clarify with Councilmember Murphy, since he's not here, what the purpose of his motion to amend was. My understanding was similar to Councilor McClinton's, that we were looking to have it arranged so that we could add 2 new members rather than substitute members, which is in effect what we would be doing if we added these 2 gentlemen at this time.
Any other questions? All right, item 10, Mr. Martin, ordinance to rezone property at 2020 Trammell Chase.
That's correct. This property comes to you, this application comes to you with a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission at their December 9 meeting, 7 ayes to 1 nay, to rezone property at 2020 Trammell Chase Drive from E1 Single Family Estate to R1 Single Family Residential with the following conditions placed on the new R1 district. That 1, the subject property is entitled to only 1 dwelling unit and shall not be subdivided into additional lots. And the second condition being the existing front setback on the property be maintained.
I'm pulling up the address to look at that. I'm familiar with that Trammell Chase. It's a unique street. If I
It
recall,
is.
it's gated and there's what, 5 homes?
It's not gated, but there is a segment of Hoover in this area that is not a part of the River Chase Plan Unit development.
Correct.
That includes the lots that front Trammell Chase. They are all zoned E1, estate residential, single family. And in this particular case, in order to bring the property and the improvements that have been made on the property into conformity with zoning, they are requesting the R1 zoning district to meet the setbacks that are prescribed by that zoning district.
Okay, so I'm looking at the map here, that dead-end street on Trammell Chase is gated, right? But this is not part of that.
It's not part of that. That's
Gotcha,
correct.
okay, very good. Any other questions for Mr. Martin on that? All right, that brings us to the end of our items. Thank you all for your attendance. We'll see you Monday.